are going to show up for this last game.
Yeah, I agree, and we might see a little bit of counter bans now. We saw how good Ben did on Wolfram. We've seen how good Flo can do on Wukong. So, do you think both of these heroes will be banned in this draft?
Yeah, I think so. I think both those heroes just made a huge impact in both games, and it was definitely a big reason that each team took a game off each other. So I'd like to see a few respect bans coming out, and then having them adjust and adjust their team compositions. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'd like to see maybe some Grom play. I don't think Grom was banned in that last game. I'd like to see him get picked up and see what one of these teams can do with him.
Definitely, the draft should be getting started here momentarily. But as I'm saying that, do you believe that banning these heroes though against the oh here it is actually it is up and running. Do you believe that bans will only just be the counter bans, or do you think they're gonna still leave up some of the options just because some of those other picks are just so strong to leave open?
It's hard to say because I feel like because these heroes are always banned, sometimes it's just good to leave them open because if they're always banned, then maybe people don't have much practice on them in competitive play because maybe
Hmm.
they're just like, well, since they're always banned, I'm not going to practice it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's okay to do some respect bans here and
And
there.
we actually do see
Um,
three complete respect bans. Cleo being banned out from Saxo, Wolfram
yeah,
as well from Ben, and we see the Apollo and Wukong both being respect banned as well. So this is when I love when tournaments go into this further stages. You just start to see how these metas start to evolve, right? It's not the same bans anymore. It's not the same picks. You actually change things up, and it actually creates for a much more entertaining series. And they do pick up the Electros on the first pick onto Matt.
yeah, I really like when games do some significant patches because it really opens up the
Aries and
draft.
Vince.
We don't see always the same picks or the same bands. We saw like within all the other tournaments, it was always the same picks and bands. But after this patch, with a lot of nerfs and a lot of changes to heroes, we're seeing a lot of versatile team comps that we've never really seen before.
Definitely, and I actually like this pickup from Ryder on the Ares, who is pretty much a really good counter to Electros. If you can blow him up during that duel, um, Divine Judgment, then definitely you do get a kill onto Electros, and he's not able to just run around in these fights, freely.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ares is a very good counter pick to Electros there. Um,
We do
yeah, so
see
Electros
Ben
is
on
just
the
gonna have to
quest
have
though.
some good game sense this game to try and understand where Ares is on the map and try not to overextend too much.
I'm gonna say that Dez is gonna go on Guan Yu once again. He's been playing that hero a majority of this tournament, and it looks like he's gonna be able to pick it up unless Kenpachi does steal it. Who has been playing the Burninator most recently. Does actually pick up
I'm
the
really liking
Guan
RNO's lineup.
Looks very strong. They definitely have a lot of combos. But I don't take anything away from. I think they do need a tank here, and they are gonna go for the Zhang Fei. And I think the
Which I
Zhang
think
Fei is
makes a lot
actually,
of sense.
yeah, I agree. It does make great sense if he can land, a couple man on his taunt from his stash. Ooh, I'm not sure if I like the Burninator pick over the Zhang Fei. I really like the dash from Zhang Fei to possibly taunt a few enemies and follow up with Esrath, but they are going to decide to pick that Burninator. Maybe he feels a little more comfortable. But with that being said, guys, this is the draft for the final game between RNO and Red Zone. Who's going to win? Put your comments, or not comments, put your messages in the Twitch chat. Let us know who you guys think is going to win. But for me, I don't know. It's going to be a battle of blood. That is for sure. And I'm looking forward to it, Sean.
Yeah, both drafts look extremely strong right now. I think, in my personal opinion, I think RNO, their team comp makes a lot of sense. On the side of Red Zone, though, I'm definitely not counting them out. I think their draft is really strong. But like you said, I think I would rather the Zhang Fei instead of the Burninator there.
Yeah, but I mean, if this Burninator can land a two-man ult, which is very very similar to Zhang Fei's taunt, Saxo can follow up with it pretty well. And
I
for
just
some
feel
reason,
like
I have
Zhang
no
Fei.
audio. Give me a second here, guys. No audio is coming up here.
I just feel okay because Red Zone's lineup is very dive heavy.
All
I
right,
feel
should be
like
good
they
now.
really need. I feel like they really need a Zhang Fei to just be able to get in there and tank the tower and pop his ulti to sustain a lot of
Yeah, I
damage.
agree. And RZ already getting aggressive onto these wolves and enemy jungle, using that gold buff on Ray to maybe secure just a little more gold.
Yeah, I really like this aggressive play by Dez there. Burnator doing is a pretty good hero at clearing. We usually see him in the solo lane, but he's just gonna roam around and steal some jungle camps. I really like that coming out of Dez.
I agree, but I really like this Crystal and Ares combo though. Crystal, because a lot of teams tend to try to save whoever Ares does Divine Judgment on top of them, and she's able to just use her ult on top of Ares to, you know, if anyone wants to try to counter initiate or dive back onto him, they will get, you know, destroyed by that ultimate from Ben on the Crystal. But we see, ooh, good damage from Ben here onto Psycho in the mid lane. Ben actually playing the mid lane this game. Not on that Wolfram. Maybe feels a little more comfortable on Crystal compared to some other players on his team.
Pretty standard here coming out. Looked like Ben, he just ported, or he ran back to base to refill his mana a little bit. Instantly ported back to mid. Gonna do some more aggressive pressure here onto Psycho.
Yeah, nothing really coming out so far in this game. Very standard. Only a 500 gold difference right now in this game, which is nothing very significant.
It looks like they're going to group as 3 in the top lane here. They might actually look to put a bit of pressure on this tower. They are hitting it a bit. Electro's going to go in as well as Poseidon. Nice little wave clear there. Dragon is up.
Ben just shooting beams of ice consistently towards Psycho. Good push back there.
He is level 5. He's the highest level in the game.
Jumping on this S-Wrath on the top lane. Guan Yu is going on to Saxo. Saxo does have that CBD buff. Going to be very hard to get onto him. All ultimates are up. Dragon is up as well. S-Wrath does counter initiate back onto it. Burnator trying to go in as well. Ray getting going on. Good position there from Matt. Pushes them back. That is being caught out as well. Ray trying to put some damage back onto Kenpachi. Does get some good damage. Good damage here. Burnator reinitiates onto Flo. Flo dropping very low. He is not going to actually live. Lunaria's ult does come through. It does hit Dez. Dez dropping low. It does get killed by Solus. Good team fight there from RNO, taking this lead 2-0 right now.
Yeah, this is a very good fight. It was a little bit unfortunate. Kenpachi actually spinned, and as Red Zone went to go CC him, I think they used all of their CC onto Kenpachi, but because the spin actually negates any CC, they wasted all of their CC for that fight, and it cost them 2 deaths there. And then now RNO are going to take Dragon as well, so big gold swing there, 4K.
Definitely, and Matt also had a huge play there on the Electros, and a 2-man stun, and actually had knockback onto on both Ray and Dez there, which actually ends up getting a kill onto Dez.
Nice little attack buff on Flo there.
Good stun, a push back onto Ben. Able to initiate. Lunaria with the ult onto Ben. Does actually secure the kill. Counter initiate back onto Matt though. Not able to get him. He does use the speed buff to get away. And Matt doing so much work on this Electros. Looking like a really strong hero in this pick, or for this game.
Yeah, 3-0 already. 4 minutes in. About to hit the 5-minute mark, and we've seen this last game too, where Red Zone, they had a rough time to ramp up and get rolling, but they made a significant comeback in the mid game. I'd like to see them try and make some plays once they get their core items.
Yeah, we need to see Ryder start moving around this map, using that ultimate Divine Judgment onto the enemy heroes. He needs to start getting involved. His ultimate is so crucial for them to lock down these heroes that jump around, such as Electros and Guan Yu.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like every time his ult is off cooldown, he should be roaming and looking for a pick. And when his ult is on cooldown, he should be soaking up and farming as much as he can. But it looks like he's just stuck in this bot lane and he's forced to just clear these waves all the time.
Yeah, but then I think they need to send someone else down here. Possibly let him start going
Yeah,
going
should
around.
lane swap or do something crazy. But it looks like Wan Yu is actually gonna try and dive under tower there.
Yeah, looking for the crystal. Good awareness there from Crystal. Gonna jump onto Ryder in the bot lane. He is gonna try to leap away. Good ultimate there from Poseidon. Matt is coming in as well. Looks like it's gonna be a kill. He does try to counter ult onto them. Lunari does use his blast as well, and he actually loses that battle with his Divine Judgment. So another kill going in favor of RNO, playing this game so smooth.
Yeah, a little bit late there from Red Zone. They reacted a little bit too late, and Ares, he got the taunt off, but he just didn't have anybody else with him to follow up on it, and it looks like this bottom tower might actually fall.
No, actually does end up staying alive. I thought there was going to be an engagement onto the top lane, but Ezreath doesn't look like he's going to go and use his ultimate. So Dragon going to be up again very shortly.
And three teleport bottom here for RNO. They're gonna go on this tower. They actually go on to Ares. Solus, he's hitting the tower so that no one can TP.
Now he has to back up here because Electros is coming in. Matt doing so much work on this Electros, playing so well. Ray doing a good job here of cutting off flow onto him. Tower is gonna fall to the creeps in the mid lane, so that's a good counter tower there from Red Zone. They're actually doing a lot of damage to Flo here. Flo dropping so low. Actually is gonna drop. Matt trying to initiate back onto Ray. Oh, good stun there from Ray. Kenpachi jumps in. Saxo does get ulti. Ryder needs to start rotating, I feel. With his ultimate, they can get a kill. Good ulti onto Russell. Russell does end up falling. This could be it for them. Ben uses his abilities onto them. Crystal, they are chasing. This could be a good time to push. I feel like they should push here. Ryder, if you can't catch out Matt, he does catch out Matt. Matt getting blown up from Crystal. Crystal, they do end up getting them. Good counter decision there from Lunaya. Ryder does get out alive just in time. Does as well. Can he be dropped? Possibly not. Good damage there from Psycho. Ray still has full HP. Poking, doing a tremendous amount of damage. Nothing comes out of it. Just a 1 for 2 there in that whole engagement. Ryder finally getting involved and locking down Electros is exactly what they need.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they really need to start using that counter pick to their advantage. Every time that ult is up, they should be trying to look for Electros and just lock him down with that ulti. Otherwise, he's just so hard to kill.
Yeah, and they just do take a tower, so slowly taking this gold lead back in their favor. Red Zone starting to do very well again, trying to regain control of this game. They are going to take Dragon though on the side of RNO. Unless Crystal can try to steal it here, but she doesn't actually go for the snipe. Ryder in the bottom lane just pushing it out. Ray though, Ray's kind of left unharmed right now, leading his gold along with Ryder. Can do a lot of work on this. Vince is keeping in farm with the Solos, actually even a little bit ahead of him, so good plays coming out here from Red Zone.
Yeah, we've seen Ray just have extremely good positioning all series. Not having much deaths within these 5 games.
Jumping onto Saxo, good rotation here, but they can counter initiate here. Looks like Burnator might try to dive. Good damage there from the ultimate. They are tanking this tower to try to take it. Vince is trunking this tower. They have to back up here. They are going to be reinitiated on. Ryder's not here for this fight. They need to try to get away. Good damage onto Matt, poking him back. Well played there, Ryder. In the meantime, split pushing this top lane.
Yeah, Ryder's doing a really good job of just split pushing and taking some advantages around the map, but it looks like Matt's actually gonna go in. He's doing so much damage to Crystal in that back line. Oh my god, he's gonna melt him. What, he gets throws the scepter there. Will he get killed off? Crowd control immune. Will Burnator land a stun onto him though, but he can't find it. And Ray actually gets taken down there, and double kill coming from Poseidon.
Ryder finally TP in now, but it might be a little too late for Ryder to TP in. Yeah, it is. He does take that tower top, but it's not really worth it. They lose 2 and 2 of their hard carries. Ryder needs to get involved in these fights a lot quicker. It's good to split push, but you can't be allowing your team to die that easily.
Yeah, definitely. And they're actually going to start Sakar here. Flow taking a pretty good amount of damage here. And
Burnator sees it. He might go for the steal.
Dez might
here.
actually go for the steal.
No, I feel like he should have went for it. I would have liked him to try to go for it. Even if he dies, it could have been worth it if he gets it.
Yeah, if he would add it, he would have had the stun at the perfect time so that it stunned all three of them. And he would just last hit Sakar.
Matt trying to go in, does get a good ulti onto Ben. Good play there by Flo. And Matt to go get reinitiation from Burnator as they're trying to push this tower, not allowing them to. Good damage here from Ray to push them back. But they are just grouping up as 5 with that Zakar buff. And let's add, the Zakar buff does offer some minion strength to their team. Looks like they're just gonna rotate and take this tower, gonna tank it.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're just in control right now. I feel like RNO can just do what they want at this point.
Look at that perfect TP. They know Ryder's gonna be there.
Good read from RNO.
Yeah, great read there from them. That's Wrath in the meanwhile, stealing the jungle. Gonna go in here, good ulti, and Ryder coming in from the back line. This could be really good. He needs to get the ultimate onto Matt. He doesn't. Yes, he gets the ultimate onto Russell. He does get the kill onto Russell. Matt being damaged down by both Crystal and Vince. Not able to actually finish him off.
Oh,
so
Ben,
close.
can he land the ice? Oh, shot control immune. Big ulti by Poseidon.
With the follow-up. Apache does have the full flow, trying to do as much damage as he can. Ben gonna start chasing again. Matt going back in onto Ben, does actually end up killing him. Ray needs to run, but he's not able to. Can he jump over the wall? Not able to, and they actually lose 4 for 2. I really do think Ryder needs to use that ult onto Matt, or this game is just gonna keep going downhill for them.
Your team.
Yeah, they really got to start using that counter pick to their advantage there. And you can see these mega creeps, so how much damage they're doing, actually taking a tower by themselves.
Yeah, Zakar buff definitely helping out on the side of RNO, who now lead almost 20k, so it's going to be very difficult for Red Zone to get back into this game. Their high ground defense needs to be very good. With that being said though, their high ground defense is pretty strong. They have a lot of poke. If they do dive, Ryder can ultimate under the tower, giving them some extra damage.
Yeah, Ryder literally just needs to find a catch onto Electros, and they just need to blow him up. I don't care if they use S-Wrath ult on top of Ares ult or whatever.
Yeah, they need to use it. I feel like if they do, they win the fight. Because what's happening right now is Ray and Ben are so focused on trying to kite Matt and on Electros. They're doing so much damage to him, but not able to kill him because they have no lockdown. If they can kill him, they can start putting down damage out onto other people.
Yeah, they really just need to use all of their CC right onto the Electros here. If they can really blow him up, I feel like the fight can just go into their favor. And it looks like RNO, they're going to start being aggressive here, start sieging Red Zone's base. But Zakar buff actually does fade away, so they won't have mega creeps now.
Definitely, Crystal having a rough game, going 1-5 right now on Ben. Matt just constantly on him, not letting him do anything in these fights.
Also, I feel like the item builds coming out of Red Zone here, I feel like I'd like to see a couple of Frozen Scepters coming down for Red Zone. That way, it just secures a little bit more lockdown, especially on the Electros and those core carries that you just want to keep locked down, you know?
Yeah, I feel like Ben should try to go for it as well, because there's actually a nice little play you can do with Crystal where you use your Frozen Scepter and you land 3 abilities and you just freeze them again, so they're just perma-stunned, which could really help against Matt.
I don't know, they're just going to continue to siege. I really like the patience coming from Red Zone, though. Really not wanting to take a bad fight here. They're really just going to wait it out.
Ooh, that damage from Lenara.
Red Zone actually have pretty good wave clear. They'll be able to hold this off.
Yeah, doing a good job so far.
But RNO not having Solus right now. They just gotta be careful just in case they get initiated on.
Yeah, definitely. Next team fight can decide this series, and whoever does win this game will go on to the final day tomorrow. So definitely both teams playing very, very passive right now, very calm, hopefully, and secure, not trying to make any mistake.
Lunaria is just gonna keep sniping. That cooldown is so low right now that she can just keep sniping waves and trying to do a little bit of poke to the red zone side.
Yeah, we see the Frozen Scepter up on from Lunaria on this side of RNO.
And there's a snipe again. She's just gonna keep doing that. You can see Ryder is almost half HP already just from these snipes.
Yeah.
I feel like RNO, they're just gonna wait for Zakar. It's spawning in 20 seconds. They know. But do you think Red Zone need to contest this next Zakar?
I think they might have to. Yeah. It might be a little hard to. I understand, but I think the buffed creeps is gonna cause a problem with them. They're gonna be easily split pushed. And looking at the builds, actually, I don't really like this Ares just going like, a lot of damage here. Going a little bit of a bruiser build, but I feel like him building a little more tanky would have helped with their lineup. They don't really need that much more damage with Esrath and Crystal and Vince as their damage dealers.
Yeah, definitely. And RNO actually going to start Zakar in the back. They're just doing some good zoning, not letting them get to Zakar, and they are going to secure it here. And that's going to be big when sieging this mid lane here.
Very good here from RNO. Can they push here though? Creeps are being pushed.
They're looking for it. There's a Frozen Scepter going down. Big top from Ares there, but he actually gets blown up by Lunaria. They're popping the reflex. Electra's going in the backline. Esrath in a lot of trouble, but he does make it out. Burninator, he is gonna fall though. And Ray doing some great kiting, but it is a 3-for-1 trade. And they're gonna take this base turret.
Yeah, they might even be able to take more than just this base turret. Little misplay there from Ryder. That's what I mean by Ryder needed to build a little tanky this game. He just gets blown up when he does ultimate. His ultimate needs to be able to get through there and help his team kite or offer some sort of CC. Not being able to, and they're gonna take a second turn here. Good damage in there from Matt onto Saxo. Saxo does ulti onto Flo. Isn't able to get the kill. That's another one down. Ray alone to try and defend his base.
Oh, he's doing some good kiting. He actually lands a kill there, and the base turret right onto Matt. Matt in a lot of trouble. But they end the game.
Ends the game, and that's game 3 going in favor of RNO. 2-1.
Wow.
What a game in this game 3. Let's talk a little bit here, Sean. I know your heart is racing. I know you're speechless. Ray almost just pulled a 1v3 in his favor in that team fight in that last little scruffle, but let's talk about the game. Let's talk about item builds. Let's talk about what went wrong for Red Zone.
Yeah, Red Zone. This is just my opinion. I know there's a lot of people in chat that say like some builds are good and that I just bash on everything, but in my personal opinion, I feel like Ares should have just built straight tank. As you can see, you went Mask there, you went Godly Cannon, you went Igneous Blade. I feel like that wasn't the play, just because we saw him go in there and he would just taunt someone and get instantly blown up because he was so squishy. I felt like if he had a little bit more tankier items, and also maybe went a Jade's Heart, so that when he went in for the taunt, he just popped Jade's Heart as well. That way he couldn't get Frozen Sceptered. Like we saw in that last fight, he went for the taunt on I think it was Electros, but because he got Frozen,
actually, but yeah,
or Poseidon, but because he got Frozen Sceptered instantly from the Lunaria, he just got absolutely destroyed. And it pretty much just costed them the fight, not having that frontliner to really lock down someone. I don't know. What do you think, Fatal?
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think building damage is the wrong build onto Ares, but you need to realize what your team has and what your team doesn't have, and their team definitely had a lot of damage. You have Esrath, you have Crystal, and you have Vince that can output damage. You only have one tank, and him not going, tanky at all, maybe building a Vengeful Deity and some armor items as well, would have helped out a lot when he did use his taunt, because what was happening is he's using his Divine Judgment, but he just gets blown up, so his Divine Judgment doesn't last long enough to offer enough peel for his team. That Divine Judgment needs to go through all the way, especially onto these heroes like Flo and Matt, because that Electros and Poseidon can just get away and distract throughout team fights consistently. So I
Yeah,
feel like that
definitely.
might have been just a little bit of a misplay there from Ryder. But for if we're looking on the side of RNO though, great build, Psycho building that Frozen Scepter. As soon as he gets it done, we saw the impact it had onto Ryder.
Yeah, Flow actually picking one up as well. So their entire lineup just they knew how to build, and it pretty much provided a lot of CC in those fights, and we saw how much work it did. Like Ryder not being able to get his ult off full duration. Like I said, Ryder, I would have liked to see a Jade's Heart just so he doesn't get frozen sceptered
Well,
in that ultimate.
just look at the damage charts. Look at the damage charts. This proves what we're talking about. We know something we're talking about. Look at Ryder's hero damage. 5k, the lowest in the whole game. Yes, he won a damage build, but he offered nothing. He couldn't even get his damage off because he was so squishy. When he ulted, he just instantly died. How does that help your team? He needs to realize this when they
Yeah,
do
I
build this comp, right?
I don't
So
think a build is bad. I just didn't think it was viable within that certain situation.
yeah, of
So
course. But
um,
looking at these damage charts, look at Ray's damage, almost putting the team completely on his back. 30k damage. Insane. But just looking at that, guys, going back to the hero the tab here,
yeah,
16.
Psycho went off, but like he did have the most hero damage there on his team.
Mhm.
But I think because his snipe cooldown was so low that he was able to just provide that damage all game, just constantly sniping people and getting them quarter health gone each time.
Definitely, and that is 16-6 in favor of RNO, guys. RNO do take the series 2-1. They are going into the final day of Heroes of Hell Championship North America Arena. So they are going into this final day. Congrats to RNO. Tough luck for Red Zone, but they are going to be fighting for third place tomorrow. With that being
Yeah,
said,
definitely.
guys, yeah, sorry. With that being said, guys, we were gonna take a 10-minute break. The next series should be up shortly. We're running really quick and smoothly tonight, so hopefully not a lot of waiting periods for you guys out there. Stick around for some codes as well. And other than that, guys, thanks a lot. Any questions? Don't be afraid to tag us in the chat and to ask. Other than that, guys, stick around.